Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, reaching you live from Lagos. A reminder of our major stories now. Residents of a Lagos community count their losses after the demolition of the settlement, allegedly by the Lagos state government. Former President Goodluck Jonathan challenges political office holders to make meaningful impact in the lives of Nigerians. The national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Ali-Modu asked members to accept recommendations by Governor Dixon's committee to end the party's crisis. And a man is shot dead after trying to seize a soldier's weapon at the Paris Orly airport. For more on our top stories and others, please visit our website is channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb, or watch us on the go by logging on to m.channelstv.com. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Now, having the Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You also have the eyewitness feature, so you too can be part of the news. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the eyewitness menu and follow the instructions to share those pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. And now to some of the pictures that you sent to our eyewitness portal. First is this one from Agor Palace Way, Okota, here in Lagos State. Our eyewitness reporter is worried about this portion of the road where an unidentified contractor is trying to construct speed bumps. He says for days now, nothing has been done and is causing traffic congestion. And from police barracks in Pangshing local government area of Jos in Plateau State is this one. Our eyewitness reporter says these houses are used by the Nigerian police. He's calling on the Ministry of Police Affairs to do something fast about these dilapidated buildings. And finally, is this one from Okene Central Senatorial District in Kogi State, where the governor ordered the demolition of some houses belonging to suspected kidnappers in the state. We do sincerely thank you for sending us pictures, as we ask that you keep them coming. Nigeria's north central states, particularly Benue State, are regarded as the food basket of the nation, but continued attacks by herdsmen appears to threaten the situation. A conference of experts organized by the Benue State University has been brainstorming on how to prevent displacement of the people, which may eventually result in a national food crisis. While an expert on migration policy and a university lecturer, Dr. Bala Takaya, called for the protection of the farmers, the state governor questions the motive behind the demand for grazing reserves.
Unofficial reports from victims of last week's herdsmen attacks in Buruku Local Council, Benue State, put the figures at 11, but the police insist only 6 deaths could be accounted for. These conflicting figures remain a permanent feature of the crisis as local residents report that herdsmen continue to invade their communities.
1,159.
These challenges gave rise to a conference at the Benue State University seeking a peaceful resolution. But first, there needs to be a probe.
We must interrogate the real intention of the concept of grazing reserves. We must also assess the contribution of the ranking Fulani leaders, politicians, and federal agents in preventing the herdsmen farmers crisis.
A possible solution, according to a migration expert, is for North Central states to protect their ancestral homes and land from attacks by extremists who parade themselves as cattle herders.
The trouble is being invited from across the border by these very people. So the best thing that the Middle Belton should do is to get their acts together. The Middle Belt should know that they own the land.
The Vice Chancellor and host of the conference believes security agencies still have a huge part to play to protect lives and property.
We hope that they will do the right thing, arrest these people who are killing innocent farmers and try them. I think that is the best thing to do.
The Benue State Police Commissioner was invited to share his command's experience.
I know that farming and grazing cannot go together. They cannot go together because The livestock depends on the green pasture to live on.
In the meantime, more security personnel have been deployed at the request of the state government as it seeks the exit of herdsmen from Buruku and Boko local government areas of the state.
Meanwhile, the United States Ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Stuart Symington, has recommended the American system of raising cattle within the confinement of ranches to Nigeria as a way of resolving the persistent herdsmen-farmers clashes in the country. Mr. Symington made a suggestion while sharing his family's experience as farmers in the state of Colorado during his visit to Governor Samuel Ortom of Benue State.
I come from a family of farmers and a family of ranchers. And part of my family used to move cattle from one state called Colorado to another state called Texas every year. And over time, they changed until now the cattle business that they do is very much one that takes advantage of the land, and when you have to move them, moves them on trucks. I had a good conversation the other day just outside of the city of Jos with one of the great milk producers of the world is a company that produces milk called Farm Fresh. And I talked to the guy that was running that, and he mentioned to me that the milk that comes from the Fulani cattle can be incorporated into the great milk produced here. So there's a prospect that literally the future of the nation could be enriched with the milk, when the milk of those herders.
Nigeria's increasing population of out-of-school children continues to be a cause of concern as the country's economic recession and various armed conflicts combine to worsen basic education accessibility in Africa's most populous nation. While multiple factors militate against basic education in Nigeria, recent statistics indicate that the process of reversing the negative trends has yet to commence. Our correspondent, Ajuri Ngalale, takes a look at the challenge of out-of-school children in the country.
In northern Nigeria, insecurity compounds years of mismanagement to create a dire scenario in which 80% of children displaced by the Boko Haram insurgency since 2011 remain without access to education.
When you look at these residential areas and now it flushes into the school, there is no gate, so it doesn't give that sense of security, whether psychological security or actual security. They would react differently because they were displaced from Chibok. And they have a peculiarity in terms of their experience. Some other people don't even see what they see.
Economic insecurity forces vulnerable children out of school and into the marketplace.
Nigeria currently plays host to one of the largest populations of out-of-school children in the world. And we are here in the floating slums of Makoko, where many of the out-of-school children roam the waters in canoes looking for survival. And the few children who do enter school are confronted with decrepit educational facilities that are limited in nature.
Don't do anything again. This is fine. This is fine, all right?
It is another day in one of Lagos State's most infamous slums, and children pack themselves into unconscionably tight spaces for a day of learning. Just outside these creaky wooden classroom doors are the lost ones. Deprived of a chance to learn, they loiter around, dreaming of life's possibilities, for which they remain forcibly unprepared to actualize.
My name is Shemide Paul.
Shemide Paul has dreams of being an engineer.
1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 2 is 4. 4 + 4 is 5.
Coming from a family of fishermen, his family prioritizes today's extra income, which he brings, above a promising future.
If I'm telling my father I want to go to school, he said I should go and catch fish. And instead I'm going to school. They say I do not have any money to help me to school.
Determined, he daily begs for training from his school-bound friends in hopes of keeping his long-term dream alive.
I know say you won't go school. If you go school now, what do you want to read?
English and mathematics and basic science. If my second one is going to school, if I'm old, I used to ask them some questions. They used to tell me, like now is the name of any person, animal, place, or things. They used to tell me all that thing. Like in mathematics now, they used to tell me 2 times 1 to 12. They used to tell me everything.
According to UNICEF, of the 66% of all primary school-aged children who attend school, 30% of them drop out before they begin junior secondary school. Shemide is not alone. 45% of Nigeria's total population is under the age of 15, creating an increasing gap in child education. While dreams endure, opportunities to actualize them fade with time. The child lost and forgotten by failing structures strives and does what is possible in the hope that he too can overcome the impossible circumstance. Ajuri Ngelale, Channels Television News.
Now, after 3 years of Willie Obiano's leadership in Anambra State, there are calls for the sustenance of his leadership style. In a lecture examining Anambra as an emerging startup state, the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Professor Charles Soludo, challenged citizens to develop the state through a support system that engenders prosperity and progress.
It's a gathering of businessmen, politicians, traditional rulers, clergymen, security operatives and others at the Governor's Lodge, Amobia, for the 3rd anniversary celebration of Governor Willie Obiano's administration. One of the invited guests, former Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Professor Charles Soludo, identifies the huge potentials of Anambra State in terms of human and rural resources.
We therefore then need to urgently mobilize the human capital, finance, and the institutions. And the starting point, ladies and gentlemen, is for the Anambra to agree that Anambra's prosperity will be built with private capital.
Governor Willie Obiano chose the opportunity to reel out the achievements so far when he mounted the dais.
Our vision for Anambra State is for Anambra State to be first choice investment destination and a hub for economic and commercial activity. We want to create a socially stable, business-friendly environment.
Time for the appraisal of the governor's administration.
Vis-a-vis the resources at his disposal and the context of Nigeria's current economic and political situation, as well as in comparison with other states and even with previous governors in their first 3 years, in the first 3 years of their tenure. And I have the following conclusion. We have the following conclusion. Our conclusion is that Governor Obiano is certainly holding the torch much, much higher.
Once again, the governor asked for support to make Anambra the light of the nation.
I want to, with all sense of responsibility, confirm to you that I've utilized that mandate to the best of our ability, and we have moved our state forward to germinate very well all these things that we've been able to do.
While the question of if not broken, why mended keeps reverberating, and the people of Anambra keep pondering what will be the next domineering answer, Governor Willie Obiano still maintains that he has left footprints in the sands of time. That's the edge he has over others for continuity.
When the news at 10 returns, global ratings agency Standard & Poor's affirms Nigeria's credit rating at B on stable oil outlook. That's on business. Join us again.